Today, we have an incredible story for you. One that's going to make you smile, maybe make you cry a little bit, but remind you on how powerful kindness can be. It's about an ordinary man who made an extraordinary difference. He didn't change the world with money or fame. He did something even more valuable: his own blood. This is the story of James Harrison, better known as the man with the golden arm. I'm Mikel, and this is what I learned today. James' story shows us that doing something small, but doing it over and over, can create a huge impact. Think about it. Spending just an hour a week on something that could save lives, well, that's exactly what James did. For 60 years, he donated blood, and his donation saved millions of babies. Let's talk about it. But first, let's talk about a quick, brief history on blood donation. If you go to donate blood today, it's easy. You walk into a clean, modern center, answer a few questions, sit in a comfy chair, and donate using sterile equipment. But believe it or not, blood donation wasn't always this simple or safe. In fact, the history of blood transfusion is full of weird and downright creepy experiments. Way back in ancient times, doctors thought that taking blood out of the body, called bloodletting, could cure diseases. They used leeches, knives, and all sorts of very painful methods to do it. In medieval Europe, barbers even did bloodletting, which is why their barber poles are red and white. This practice lasted for centuries. Even George Washington, the first US president, likely died because doctors removed too much of his blood when he was sick. Yeah. The first recorded blood transfusion happened in 1665, but not between people. It was between dogs. A few years later, doctors tried giving blood from lambs to humans, but it didn't go well, and the practice was banned. The real progress came in 1818 when a British doctor named James Blundell successfully gave human blood to a patient using a syringe. Still, back then, blood transfers were risky and not everyone survived. But then everything really changed in 1900 when a scientist named Karl Landsteiner discovered blood types, type A, type B, and type O. This discovery made transfusions much safer because now doctors could match the right type of blood. Landsteiner even won a Nobel Prize for his work. By 1937, the first U.S. blood bank opened. An African-American scientist, Charles Drew, helped create the first system to collect, store, and transport and to donate blood. Fun fact, he even came up with the idea of blood mobiles, trucks that bring blood donation centers to people. Now imagine being 14 years old and needing a major surgery. Pretty scary, right? That's exactly what happened to James Harrison. He had to have chest surgery, and the only reason he survived was because strangers had donated blood for him. That moment changed his life forever. When he recovered, he made a promise to himself. As soon as he was old enough, he would become a blood donor. And he kept his word. The day he turned 18, James walked into a blood donation center, rolled up his sleeve, and gave his first donation. He had no idea that this simple act would go on to save millions of lives. At first, James was just a regular donor. But after a few years, doctors made an incredible discovery. His blood was extremely rare. It contained something that no one else's did, something that could save newborn babies. James's blood had a special antibody that was used to create a life-saving treatment called Anti-D. This treatment helps pregnant women whose blood might attack their own babies, which can lead to serious problems or even death for the baby. Before Anti-D, thousands of babies were dying every year. Doctors had no idea how to stop it until they found James. Here's what happens. Some moms have Rh negative blood, while their baby inherits Rh positive blood from their father. The mom's immune system sees the baby's blood as something foreign and tries to destroy it. Now, this can cause miscarriages, stillbirths, or very sick newborn babies. But when these moms get an anti-D injection made from James's blood, their babies are now safe. When James heard, he didn't hesitate. he found out that his blood could save babies. He started donating plasma instead of regular blood because it allowed him to donate more often. Plasma donation takes a little longer, but James didn't mind. He knew he was making a difference. Week after week, month after month, he kept going. In his lifetime, he donated over 1,100 times and helped save more than, get this, 2.4 million babies. James never thought of himself as a hero. He once said, and I quote, "It's just something I can do. It's one of my talents, probably my only talent that I can be a blood donor," end quote. But what he did was truly incredible. His blood was used in every batch of anti-D ever made in Australia. Even James's own daughter needed anti-D when she was pregnant. And because of it, James got to hold his healthy grandson in his arms. Imagine knowing that you helped save the life of your own grandchildren along with millions of others. James won many awards, including one of Australia's highest honors. But he never wanted recognition. He didn't do it for the fame. He did it because he cared. Eventually, James had to retire from donating, as in Australia, blood donors must stop at 81 years old. And in 2018, at age 81, James gave his final donation. The doctors and nurses who had known him for years gathered to celebrate. Moms and children he had helped sent him thank you messages. But James, he just hoped that others would take his place. James Harrison passed away at 88 in 2025, but his story isn't over. Scientists are now working on recreating his special antibody in labs so his life-saving gift can continue. His story proves that one person really can change the world, even in the simplest of ways. So, what acts of kindness can you do today? Maybe you can donate some blood, help a friend, or just spread a little kindness. James's story reminds us that even small actions done over time can have an incredible impact. Guys, thank you for listening. If you like this episode, share with others, with someone who could use a little inspiration. Until next time, I'm Mikel, and this is what I learned today. Bye.